Hello, hello. Testing live. Gonna be starting soon. Finishing some wrap up. I got a new screen. Hello to anybody popping in. Give me just a few minutes. Doing some quick stuff. I have a new screen, so that's always fun. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I think we are ready to start. So I'm going to test this real quick. Hopefully you can hear me okay. It's very humid today. My dehumidifier is on. So let me know if you can't hear me. And let's see. Okay. Alright. Hey Fries, how you doing? Yeah, you are early. Oh good, my dehumidifier shut off. So I'm gonna switch my screen over so we can get started with this. Hey guys, how you doing? Okay, good. Stream. Let's do this. Whoa! It's Kermie. That was stupid, but I wanted to see him on the screen. So hi, I hope you're doing okay today. We've got another exciting day of kit building and airbrushing. I'm hoping I'm gonna make it happen. I did some work on these pieces before, so like we did all of this stuff on Monday. I went ahead and I sanded these heads down, but that's pretty much all I got around to. So we're gonna wrap up these pieces here and then get done with airbrushing round 2. So I'm gonna switch over my camera setup to be into the airbrush booth, and we will continue priming and fixing things, and we should be pretty good to go soon in terms of like figuring out color and stuff. So yeah, so I'm just gonna keep going with this. I did start a little bit of work on her legs here, and I drilled out a couple of spots, so I'm gonna start filling those in with my putty. Let me get another towel here. Got kind of a lot of paper towels right now. And I'm just gonna go in and fill in these spots that I drilled out, that I noticed the primer and all of the Bondo and stuff didn't catch. And so we're continuing our process today with what we did on Monday, which is fixing defects we noticed after we primed. And the airbrushing which we are going to get to tonight. I'm going to make sure of it. Should go fine. I did some earlier today and it was pretty humid then, so I'm not too worried. Okay. So I'm just going to hold this up to the light and keep on going. Hello, those of you just dropping in. Don't know if you saw my new starting soon screen, but I'm very proud of it because the art is super cute, so I'm going to flip back to it. This art is by Ranachel. I had it commissioned for me of my mascot, Sumomo, and I really, really love it. She's so cute and it's perfect, so I just wanted to show it off. I also never made those types of backgrounds yet, so this is a good opportunity to do that since will be encountering issues where I need to, you know, wait around or switch screens and stuff. So yeah, she's so hyped. Like, I really like her excited expression. Half the time I am not making that excited expression. I'm never really excited to airbrush, but she is the hype man, hype woman, so that's enough for me. Alright, so I put up this putty to the light for a little bit, and I'm just going to sand it down now. Oh yeah, I think last time I was holding these pieces with a glove, because if you manhandle them a little too much, they get oils from your hands, and so it's not a good thing. Wow. Sanding this down, I realize just how red that Bondo is, because I'm like sanding it and I see the bare resin, and then there's like this red etch of where the Bondo was. So I'm just gonna keep cutting these papers and sand this stuff down. Overall, I think we did a pretty good job for all of the prep. Most of the areas that I saw, like on these legs and her heads, were really minor, and just buffing that primer out pretty much smoothed everything down. So I'm hoping all this, will go by pretty quickly, and I'll be able to switch over and we can start the airbrushing. Heads up, my booth is kind of dirty right now. I'm not going to bother cleaning it too much, but all of the paper towels are different colors because I've been spraying. Where did my... What the... I'm wondering where my... Oh, there it is. Over here. Drill went. Yeah, so I've been working on another commission, and so that one has a color on it. And so I'm just going to use the same paper towels. Okay. Should have closed this cap. I had to re-drill just a few of these areas. The Tamiya putty did not fully cover it, so. Well, that's kind of a lot. Okay, I think we're good to hold this up. Alright. So rainy today. It really wasn't that bad this afternoon when I sprayed, but now this dehumidifier is going on and off like constantly, so that's good. We'll keep it down at a temperature or at a humidity that is acceptable, but still. So generally, like when I airbrush, I don't really want humidity above like 55-60%. Any more than that and my thinner ratios start getting kind of iffy, and your paint takes longer to dry, everything takes longer to dry. There's a possibility of moisture getting trapped in your paint coat, because if you're spraying lacquer, your paint will dry faster than like the moisture. So what happens is you get an effect called blushing, which I think I've talked about before. And basically it's like a white tint that shows up in your paint job because there's still moisture trapped in between the paint molecules. So ideally you want to be spraying at a lower humidity. And I haven't really encountered that problem until I moved because I used to live in a pretty dry climate. So yeah, just got to keep it low. I think this putty is also taking a little bit longer to dry now because I feel like it's flaking off. A little bit longer. Do I use one of the dish drying racks I see with Japanese artists? No, I don't. I don't have the area for that. It is a good idea. Like I've seen it used in like on Twitter and videos and stuff, but I just don't have that set up. But definitely recommended if you have the space and you know the funds to get it. I'm not even sure if it's just like a standard drying rack or if it's like a special hobby thing. It seems like it's just a generic like dishwashing drying thing. So yeah, it would be interesting to look into. What you can also do if you're experiencing all of that is have your pieces under a heat lamp, like a very mild heat lamp or something that will help the evaporation and help get that moisture out. Read an old tip from like car modelers that when it was high humidity they like sprayed the pieces and then just stuck them under you know, like on the sticks and had it under a mild heat lamp, and that generally fixed any issues or prevented it. So if that's something that is, you know, a regular issue where you live, that could be helpful too. For now I'm just trying to spray on like sunny, not as humid days, and that seems to be working the best. See, I wanted to ask about your setup. I know you spray outside a window to get the fumes out, but what if someone walks right past? If they're like standing there and smoking or something, then you know, you probably don't want to do that. But if someone's just gonna like walk by, they're not gonna like, you know, get poisoned and get cancer from one breath of your fumes. So I think it really depends like where you live. If you live on like a balcony or something or out a window, you're totally fine. You're not going to encounter anything. If you're like on a floor one of a door room and people are regularly walking by, might not be as good of an idea. Would probably just, you know, relocate if possible. But yeah, really what happens with this type of stuff is it's not dangerous if you just get like a whiff or two, but it's prolonged exposure over time that's most dangerous. And so that's why we advocate people start wearing their safety gear early and get in that habit, because otherwise, you know, you're not going to have that habit and you just won't do it, and you're at risk after that. So let's see if I'll do. Oh, interesting, monkey. Yeah, I thought they were Japan only as well, so that's why I like never really looked into it. But I guess it would make sense if you lived in an apartment or some smaller living space like a lot of Japanese do, that it would just be like this thing you could easily set up and, you know, dry your dishes that way. Oh, I'm going to skip this one. I think this happened before. Sorry, Sailor. Okay. You are too popular. Alright, this area is being really picky. I've got most of it sanded down at this point, but a lot of these smaller holes just keep popping up. So I like sand it down and then I see more of a hole, and so we're getting there. Okay. Even if we don't finish like one piece and we're getting, you know, around like 9:30 or something, I'm just gonna switch over because I can always finish and airbrush this stuff on my own time. Excuse me, but I want to make sure that you guys are able to see it in the stream too. Not 30 hours of sanding. Okay, your window leads to the backyard where your dog's straight. Yeah, if she's just like sitting there because she wants to be, or he or she, sorry, yeah, her, she's just sitting there, she wants to be close to you, or she walks by it often, maybe a good idea to kind of move it. What you could also maybe do, I don't know how big your window is, but if it has two ridges, like, you know, it's two levels, you could put your setup with a tube that leads up above, and so that way your dog won't be exposed at that lower level, and then the gases and everything will dissipate that way. I live on like the 3rd story here, and so it's not an issue, but my dog does go outside, so if I did, you know, was right outside a window, I would not be doing this type of setup. My cat does wander in here sometimes though, and so that's always a concern, is like pets, you know, inside your house too. You want to be mindful of that. He generally just leaves because he's like, I don't want to deal with that. Oh my god, these holes. Just so bad. I might just smooth this down and then primer over it nice and thick and see how that works. Because the rest of this is pretty smooth already. Okay, filling these up pretty quick. This side's fine. It's really that other one. I guess we also don't have to spend too much time on this area because it will be covered up by her maid dress. So I just thought of that now. So as I've been saying, she'll be fully covered up like this when, you know, she's built. So I don't know why I keep doing that. I might just move on then. But I do need to do her legs. There were a couple of little dots I noticed there. Okay. Yeah, no worries. Always gotta take care of our doggos, you know. Okay. I'm gonna turn up the music in my headphones a little. I like these songs, but I can't barely hear. There we go. A lot of sand in this area down. So this is the area with all of the pinholes along her leg. Okay, smooth this down. quick. You can see, look at my finger. Still has like black paint on it from Monday. Oh god. Okay. Sand down this area. A little bit rough. Okay. And I'm gonna shift. Not really too much smoothing I can do here. I guess I can do some. We did a really excellent job of catching all those bubbles in her heels. I don't see any that are popping out here, so that's great. Okay. Her other leg too, like I can see the bubbles, but they aren't holes that I need to fill in. They look like they're totally filled in. I just didn't put enough primer on it, so that's a relief. Okay. And the inside of her legs, those are something else. So let's see. I'm not sure too much that I can do, but let me a piece of the 800 cloth. I'm gonna go really, really slowly across this so I don't scratch it. Hey Panda, how are you doing tonight? Thanks for checking my stream. Just working on stuff and going to be airbrushing tonight. Need to cut this thinner, I think. Pretty sure I just cut my rubber glove. Barely. It's fine. Okay. Well, hello, people. I'm doing all right. Thank you for asking. Just sanding away, sanding my life away, but that's the usual. Hello, Nor. Oh, probably shouldn't say Nor. Oh, Kale. Sorry. And, oh, Curry as well. Okay. So really, I'm just trying to smooth this down a little bit. I don't want to do too much or scratch it because the inner legs are already a hard area to reach. Looks like we did a lot of the work anyway because I actually don't see any pinholes. And that's great. I don't know why all the pinholes are at the top then. Sorry, Okale. Exposed. I'm just too used to calling you your other one. Oh, also there's a hole here. I think that we just missed this in all aspects of sanding and priming and doing everything. There's a little hole in her heel. Yeah, wow, I just popped it. So, good to know. Whoa. Oh no. The reveal. Okay, so I'm gonna fill in this hole in her straps of her heels real quick. I honestly didn't even see that the first time we went through all this. Or I might have, but then I forgot, and so somehow it carried over to the priming. Let me grab another, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this up now. filled in this hole in the strap. And other than that, I think we're almost done with her legs, so we'll move on to her apron next, which upon close inspection, pretty good shape too. A little rough in some spots. Yeah, definitely a couple holes I'm gonna have to drill and fill in manually, but that was to be expected. The apron was the worst, as well as her frills, which, yeah, there's also a couple spots, so. Okay. And oh my god, what is happening? I completely missed this other one too. So, just waste all that time. Really, this priming, just showing me all these dark areas I completely missed. So there's also a hole right at the base of her foot, where the heel starts. So let me get that one real quick too, and we can just sand down both and then move on. That one was a surprise. I can't believe I missed it. Throw away this toothpick. It's getting kind of bad. Okay. So this is good. We'll continue. Cut some more paper. And we'll do this one too. Start with this thin one. I feel like this area is a little bit rough, but maybe it will be okay. Yeah. And I'll sand down this one here. This is kind of a challenging spot because it is right along her foot. So I'm just going to try to sand along the curvature of the line. Just got to look at it a little bit closer. Okay, it's looking pretty good. Her foot is a little bit rough. There's a little hole here. Let me see if I can just smooth primer down into it. I really don't want to drill another hole and just be continuously working on this, but we might have to. And actually her area right here is pretty rough anyway. It's just really difficult to access. Kind of an error on the sculptor's part. I don't know how they cast it then, but I just can't get in there and smooth in, like, in between her heel area. So I might just have to prime that really thick and let it go. Okay, and here. So right now I'm just sanding down any minor defects I see, such as scratches I missed, areas where the pinholes are, you know, still kind of present. Just trying to smooth everything out, just so it doesn't look like I'm randomly working on stuff over and over. Because during this first priming, you're always going to find defects that you missed the first time. It's very rare, unless you have a really, really nice cast, to not have to do this. And we all know, well, most of you who've been in my streams know how bad this cast was, so if I didn't have to do any work, that would be incredible. Then I would be a true pro if I caught every single defect the first time. Okay, let me look real quick at this. I think we're good to move on. Yeah, I don't see anything else, so I'm gonna move on. We're going to, well, let's look at her frills next. I know I said the apron, but frills will be a little easier to work with. So right now what I'm going to do is there's a couple of spots where I notice the pinholes are still showing, so I'm going to drill out all of those with my 0.5 millimeter drill bit. This piece in particular had a ton of micro holes, and so Bondo did a good job filling most of those in, as well as the primer, but some of the bigger ones it just didn't catch. So and drilling these holes in this 0.5 millimeter range is a good way to pop like a couple of them at once, because they're all pretty small but they're clustered together. So that one was weird, kind of drilled down. Should be fine. Okay. My camera not focusing on this. There we go. There we go. Okay. Let me get this one as well. And I'm not going to worry about the underside of this because we're not going to see that at all. The only part I'm going to worry about is the bottom edge, which will show. So like this one here. And that one here. So there's quite a few of them. Oh. That's going to be annoying. Just a little bit of... Oh my god. Can't get it. Give me 1 sec. This one, and right here. Wow, so just a straight up hole that I didn't pop before. Okay, I think that's a good place to start. So I drilled out a number of holes that were from larger pinholes that I missed, slash holes, I guess, bubbles in the resin. So I'm going to fill in all of those now. Not one there. And okay, that's a good place to start. Filled in like 5 of them at this point, so we're gonna do those 5, and then I will continue on the others. Let me take a look at this too. Hair is pretty good. So actually, it might not take as long as I thought. There's some scratches there. Yeah, this one's pretty good. The majority of the problems are on these spots. Okay. So, whoa, got caught. Throw that away. Keep on sanding. Love this Tamiya like carrying stuff. So it makes it so easy to sand this down so quickly. Could also use the UV gel for these, but I find that sometimes it bubbles up a little bit, and so I just want something that works quick and fills it completely. Okay, next one. Oops. That one's good. Last one of the ones that we filled in. And then I will continue on. Okay, pretty good. Alright, so let's see, the next holes are here. Open that up again. Move that. Just keep wiping it off. There we go. Okay, this one had a fair number of holes in that one that I just like straight up found that I never pierced before. When you prime too, sometimes you get a nasty surprise because there's like a little outline of a hole, and you're like, that's weird, and you drill it and it's a whole bubble that you missed. Oh, I love this song. Looks like here's where a lot of the damage is concentrated. Okay, I think that's all of them. So let's get this dried up and sand it down, and then I'm going to take another look through it and see if there's any other ones I missed. I think there are a couple of small ones, but we'll see. You should commission someone to make a Kermit puppet. Oh my god. Can you imagine how funny that would be? And he's just like spraying it. Oh my god. Tempting. Very, very tempting. I did not intend for this to become like a Kermit stream. I just happened to think Kermit is very cute. And then it escalated slowly from there. pretty soon, one day, you guys will like come into my stream and there won't be my little Momo down there anymore. It'll just be Kermit and the whole stream will be green. That's gonna happen. Okay. A little more actually. These are not quite dry. Okay, now let's try. A lot better. Okay. Sort of sanded down a good chunk of this primer too, off all of these ribbon pieces, or frills, sorry. This one had like 3-4 bubbles concentrated in this area, so. Oh my god, not focused again. Come on, camera. There we go. Also, this is very distracting. My nails bothering me. I just never wiped it off, so I'm gonna clean off my nail real quick. Sorry for those of you who want to see my black nail. There we go. Okay, much better and cleaner. Yes. Yes to all of that. I don't even know what points are, but yes. Kermit's for everybody. When I was a kid, I used to get Sesame Street and the Muppets really mixed up. And I wonder if that's a common thing because, like, you know, both are puppets, both are long-standing shows. And so I would always like say that they're from this show, but they're not, and vice versa. And I didn't really watch Sesame Street like a lot as a kid, so that's probably where the confusion came from. Switch this. Sure. This is a new Anamaguchi, I think, so. That one, we've got 2, 3 more. Not too bad. And I am running out of paper here. I'm really using every last inch of this 800. So that one might be an issue. some weird stuff going on with this piece. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me take a quick look. A lot of stuff here. Let me get some new sandpaper. Hopefully I'm not out of 800s. Let's see. Oh, no, there's one down here. And these are all done. Cut a new one. You can see I tested my white primer on this to make sure it was spraying. Where was that? Yeah, sometimes I keep a piece of black paper nearby just so I can do a spray test on black. Because we are spraying a lot of light colors most of the time and it doesn't show up a lot on that white paper towel. So just use like a piece of black cardstock. Oh, here it is. Okay. And let me take another look, but this was looking pretty good. There's a couple of holes that I think I will have to go over with the second coat, but we'll see. We're just kind of observing and filling in right now. I'm much more thorough when I'm doing other kits. Oh, there's a little bit of extra putty on this. Okay, this is pretty good now. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna move on. So last two pieces here, the apron and the hair. Hair didn't have too many issues, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that one first. And that way we can get this big piece out of the way and we'll be able to spray it. So even if we don't get to the apron, that's fine. We still have all this other stuff we can spray. So I'm going to start by buffing the hair with a 1500 grit. This is just smoothing out that primer layer. It's not really taking away anything. There's a hole here that I want to drill though. So most of the seam lines had hole issues. The rest looks, well, this piece here too. Yeah, just those two. So I'm gonna fill that in first. Sand that. Switch these at this point so you guys can see all the finished pieces. Smooth that here, and then this over here. Nope, stuck. A little more. Yep, we're good. So, well, okay. She'll just have arms on her bloomers, that's fine. Smooth that out. This putty came out a little goopy here. It's more liquidy than putty. So, it should sand down fine, but... Ooh, I wish I had some bubble tea right now. It sounds so good and refreshing. Okay. I'm just gonna cut both of these off. Pretty good. This is an area that I think, no, that's good. I just need to sand a little more. Come on, camera. Come on. I think I may have screwed myself over by moving those pieces. And now it's not registering. There we go. There we go. Okay, and we will buff this. Okay, and I do remember, so most of his hair is pretty smooth, but there were a bunch of scratches right here, so. And I also do recall that we did not prime as much as we probably should have around her hair tips, so that's something I'm going to need to mentally remind myself once we start. Alright, let me skip this song. I don't remember this, so we will hear this one. Come on, camera. Why? Why are you doing this to me today? Well, I'll just put it down here for now. Hello, Rocket. Oh, now I remember this song. It's the drop. Alright, that's pretty smoothed out. I wonder if I just scratched it a lot. Oh, there's some on this side too, so smooth all that. Okay, there's a case of the fuzzies here. So this is like when you spray and you get kind of a wrong angle, and so that after spray, not the spray spraying directly on the piece, but one kind of straying past it, gets caught and stuck on your kit. That's what you get, fuzzies. So I want to make sure that I sand in between these hair strands and get rid of some of these fuzzies. This will cause like an unwanted texture on your kit, and it's something that like your eye doesn't really pick up, but cameras definitely will. So a lot of the like really nice Japanese model kits you see, they don't have any fuzzies on like in between the hair strands and stuff, and usually that's because they're like spraying a clear primer, but they also do a lot of prep beforehand to make sure that the pieces are really nice. Okay, there's also a hole right here on her end tip, so I'm going to drill that out and fill it in. Alright, got that. And I'm gonna let that dry. Making good time. I think we'll definitely have enough time to go forward and do the airbrushing at the pace we're going. I wasn't having this song at first, but it's from DDR Pack, so I'm gonna listen to it. And I miss going out and hearing this stuff live. Okay. Pretty good. Let's see. These I can't tell if I need to drill out or not, so I'm gonna leave them because we forgot to prime this area, or I forgot. You guys didn't do anything, you're just observing. Okay, there's a lot of like scratching and stuff happening right along this hair strand for whatever reason. Let me see real quick how this lines up, because if it's not going to be visible, then I'm not going to bother with it. Oh, might be kind of hard. Let's see. Okay, there's one area I'm going to drill out, but I'm not going to bother with the texture otherwise. There's this dent / scratch here that is bothering me. Oh man, just want to go DR this one. Okay. Fill that in real quick. That's the only other issue I really saw with this other than the scratching. So after we fill this in, I'll go and I'll buff out some of this. Actually, you can kind of look at it now in the light. Yeah, it looks like, well, in here too, there's kind of a lot of textury stuff happening here. Let me take a photo real quick so you guys can see. Let's see. So it might be kind of hard to see, but you can see there's like these dents here. And then there's some, this is probably my fingerprint if I'm being honest, or some sort of scratch. There's also a scratch up here, right here, in the resin that I'm seeing. And so these are visible ones. These aren't ones that I'm needing to like, you know, go in with a microscope or a magnifying glass or anything to see. Those are things you probably do want to tackle. So I'm gonna sand down some of this and see if it helps. This is not something that's buffing out with the 1500. Yeah, so that's an actual scratch that I just never noticed while we were prepping this kit. The one that looked like a fingerprint is just scratching. So that's stuff I do want to smooth out. It's, you know, this is a sweet anime girl kit, and so it's got a lot of focus on really smooth textures. If it were, you know, some actual textured piece of the kit, I wouldn't be bothering with this, but also the angle of the scratch is like incorrect. So if it was like going straight down, I might not bother with it, but because it's at a weird angle, it doesn't look like hair then, so I'm gonna smooth it out. Yeah, there's kind of a lot happening here I missed. All of that is going to get the smoothing. Finer scratching up here, that one that I pointed out. I'm just going to sand it down and see if that helps. Again, this is a scratch that you could probably just drill out and fill in, because that will help minimize oversanding, but I'm not too worried about it, so I'm just gonna see how much I can sand it down with the 800. If I can see it. There we go. And a little bit here. Okay. That area right there I might have to do something with, but I'm gonna leave it for now. Okay, we're going back and sanding down that hole that we drilled out and filled in with the light curing putty. It's on the inside of her hair here, so a little difficult to reach. Sorry if you guys can't see it clearly. Like, I can barely see it here. That it's this white area, or pink, pink, what am I talking about? Yellow. It's this yellow putty. I was looking at the Bondo. Okay, it's just kind of hard to reach. So this is where like that flexible small pieces of sandpaper really help, because you're not over sanding other areas. I do try to rotate the kit while I'm doing this to get the best angle. Kind of hard though, it's still just a really tough area to reach, so there we go. So I made kind of a triangle, if you guys can see it, and so I'm just shaving it down that way. Oops, there goes my triangle. So yeah, to make the triangle, just fold the piece of sandpaper in half, and then when you're on that ridged edge, press down on it, and you'll end up with kind of a rotated, like circular / triangular plane surface. So you'll be able to sand it that way. Sometimes I find that's easier than going just like 2D. You would make it a 3D shape, and then that helps. Almost done. I added kind of a lot on here because I want to make sure I filled it in, so. It's getting pretty clogged, so 1 second. Almost there. I swear it. So I'm at the point where like the surrounding areas, all the primer is wiped down, but there's still some primer where I put the putty, and I want all of that gone because that means that the whole area is flush. I'm gonna grab this last piece. There we go. That's mostly good. get in between there. Also noticed some scratching here. Okay, pretty good. So I'm gonna go in with 1500 real quick and smooth this out. There's a bunch of primer dust that I just need to sand down or blow away. You can see there being maybe some minor textural stuff there, but that's fine. Really, yeah, this back of the hair, just the way it was cast, there's a lot of scratching and stuff, so I'm not going to take the time to do all of that and sand every single hair down. You can if that's something that you're really focused on, but it appears to me that the bulk of the casting effort went to the back of the hair here because none of that scratching is there. Oh, there's a man-made scratch here though. Okay, so I got one more hole to fill in here that I found. And it is important to me, like the back of the hair is kind of whatever, or the inner hair is kind of whatever, but I really want the outside to be nice and presentable, so. Should be good. Alright. And I'm going to skip this song because I do not feel like listening to it. Oh. Well, none of the shrimp. Oh, but this one's kind of intense. So maybe not. Sure. Don't really remember this one. Okay, do this real quick. So I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see it. You can see the difference here in the color. There's the yellow from the Tamiya, then there's this lighter color, that's the bare resin, and then the white is the primer. So I want to make sure that I get all of that surrounding area down to resin color. And that way it will be officially flush. So if we don't do that, if we prime over that, there's going to be a little like ridge that you'll see. And that would be the Tamiya putty. Sorry if I said Tamiya primer. Well, it's also Tamiya primer. The Tamiya putty will cause like a little ridge. So when we prime that, you'll see it. That looks a lot better than before. There's nothing like priming it and then you just see this shadow of a scratch. I really hate that. So it's much easier to just go in and spot treat it and sand it down. And when you prime over it, should be fine. Okay, that's pretty good. Let me just wipe this down. Okay, so, oh yeah, there's a little bit here. that worth drilling a hole out though? Yes. So I found another scratch. So continue the filling. Okay, not a lot needed here. We're just kind of treating each scratch / spot. Just part of the QA/QC process of this, unfortunately. I think around like 9:20, 9:25, I'm gonna switch gears and start to get this ready for airbrushing. So just be mindful, I guess. We'll see. I don't think it'll run longer than half an hour, especially because the second time through, we've already got a lot of these pieces still pretty white, so they won't need too much of a coat. We'll be using a lot less primer than we did on last time, that's for sure. Exciting! I can't believe we're getting to the point where we're gonna be able to paint this soon. Like, it's only been about a month-ish, right, since I started? Oh, maybe 2. I think I started in February. Streaming. Okay, there we go. See, that's also really nice. Sanded down so nice. So, and there's another one here. I'm just gonna keep finding these, to be honest. I don't think we're gonna get to the apron. That's fine. Apron's like a lot of work, so all the work that I've ended up doing for this apron has been off screen because it takes so long. It's like at least an hour just spent on the apron and that's it. Okay, sand that one down real quick. Yeah, it really does. Time flies when you're working on kits and life in general. I had to like record the date today because I did some work for my real job, and I can't believe it's already the middle of April. Like, what the hell? What is happening? Okay. Then after we finish this kit, I'm gonna have to figure out a new kit to work on stream, because I'm not gonna work on client kits on stream. I have an idea of what I want to work on next, so we'll see. It's one I've really wanted to finish for a long time, that I bought many years ago, and I've had a really interesting idea for it for the longest time, a couple of them actually, and I can't lock down what I want to do for the color scheme, but I think I'm at a point where I can narrow it down now. So it's another original character, so no pressure. There is another alternative one I'm thinking though, that is a character that I would also like to finish, so we'll see. Once we get through this Maid, maybe I'll ask you guys what you want to see. I definitely have enough kits for there to be choices. Okay, I'm just looking at this hair real quick. Have I ever built Gundam kits? Nope. I do have one Gundam. I have one in my closet that I bought that was supposed to be a group build for some friends, and then they ditched me, and so I have this $12 Gundam kit. And actually did open, I cracked it open one night. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look at this. So I opened it up, and I think I popped out like one of the runners and sanded down a couple of pieces, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. So like, it just, I don't know, we'll see. It's very cute. I forgot what it was. It wasn't one of those bears. If you build Gundams, you know what I'm talking about. There's like those Gundam bears. It was not one of those. Something else. I don't remember his name or its name. And it's not one of the balls, like the Gundam seed balls. I forgot the name. I keep thinking Haribo, but it's not. That's like a gummy. So I don't know. I'm definitely not a Gundam person, as you can see. I very patiently listen to my friends and absorb the info, but a lot of times it does not retain itself. The only one that I remember is Zaku, so because that one's pretty funny and cool. Okay, there's also one hole right here that is it's just bothering me, so I'm gonna fill that one in too. Yeah, so many little pieces on those Gundams. Just, oh, yeah, I forgot how, even that one little kit, like that was considered an easy Gundam, and it had so many more pieces than anything I usually work with, and so I was like, oh no. But I guess the trade-off is, it's from Bandai, and so the cast quality, or like their injection mold quality is really good, so you're never gonna have to deal with all of this garbage where you're working on a piece for like 5 hours. Oh no, definitely not that kit, monkey. Not that kit from 2005 or whatever, 2004. And not my kit that I swore off from ordering from E246 ever again. That one's not going to be on stream either. And let's see. Sounds interesting. Are you still planning to do kits on the simpler side? I'm not sure, Fries, to be honest. The one that I'm thinking of is definitely more complex than this, but in terms of like style and stylistic choice, it's pretty similar. Not in terms of like her looking, like this Maid, but I like girl kits that are like standing and in like a nice pose where I can do whatever. And so she's like that. So for the sake of like being different, that's a very good point. Like the vibe is kind of the same for that kit I was thinking of. So I might choose to do a character kit instead, and that would be fun. There's a handful of them that I could do that would be characters, but still be interesting. That kit, see, that's what happens is I end up building other ones, and then that kit that I have those dream ideas about, I'm like, yeah, I'll come back to it. Just gonna sand this one spot down. It's another kind of hard to reach place, but I will get to it. I feel like the points of articulation really set the Gundam models apart. Yeah, oh for sure, Boneless. And I have seen that the tech on the newer kits, at least from what my friends have shown me and what I've seen, it's really, really improved, like dramatically. And some of them are so cool, and they've got so many different ways that you can pose them. Bandai's really improved the articulation tech over the past couple years. I know that for a fact. There was one that was really ultra cool. It was like the regular Gundam. When you think of like the regular Gundam, what is it, like the RX-78? I think that's what it was. And that was the model that was ultra articulated. It was really cool. Okay. Come on, this little spot. I guess I could use my cloth in this area too, but I'm not really feeling it. I feel like that would do more damage than it would help. No, did I get it wrong, Canon? I don't remember. My boss would be mad at me. That's what I was saying. The only one I know is Zaku. And the ball. I need a Gundam education. I need like a 101 course in university. Okay, I'm gonna finish sanding this area here, and then we're gonna switch over to the airbrush setup. So let me get this done. I wonder how I said that I wouldn't use the cloth, but I'm gonna try. Actually, working pretty well. Yeah, that worked great. So don't be afraid to try things like that. I just said I'm not gonna do it, and then I did, and it worked fine. Okay. You guys. Yeah, there's an endless amount of Gundams and models because Bandai's gotta make that cash. There are a couple that I do like, but I only know them by type. Like, if I saw a photo, I'd be like, that's the one I like. Alright, so I got that sanded down. I'm gonna buff out this area here real quick. Let me sand it down actually. So I thought I could buff it, but not happening. Okay, that's enough to get started. So, we did not get to this apron, but that's fine. I'm just gonna set this piece aside. I'll prime it on my own. Let me pull out some alligator clips, and so we can get this all clipped up. And then I'm going to switch my setup to my airbrush station. So that will take a little bit of time. I have a little be right back screen for that. Let me grab my clips then. Oh, there we go. So I keep all my clips in my paint jar, my spoon jar. Don't think I've showed that off to you guys before. So let's see. A lot of these are already clipped up anyway, so it won't be too big of an issue, and that's why I kept them here. So you just take your alligator clip, and hopefully it has some wire. Come on, seriously. There you go. Yeah, so these are homemade clips. Oh my god, really. It's just basically like a clamp and a bamboo skewer, and I put some electric tape and tied it really tight around here. So you can buy like pre-made ones, but for me it was a lot cheaper just to make my own. So yeah, we're gonna hook these up. Okay, and I've got my station over here, so it's just basically a piece of wood that I drilled a bunch of holes into. Okay. What did I do here? I guess I'll get these ones first. Okay. Got some more here. And I had, okay, so there's also some brass wires I put back in my cup that I need to pull out again. This one was the hair one, I'm pretty sure. Why was it black though? It's weird. Okay, what I also do is, if I take the pieces out, if I can grab it, let's see. Where? Looking, there we go. So this is loose right now, so what I do is I just take my pliers and I push it in, and then there's no problem. So it's pretty stable. Yeah. So I'm gonna put that up. And I'll put it here. I'm just kind of moving the pieces around. I've got a bunch of other pieces on there, so I want to make sure that I don't touch any of them. Oh, this can go here. Okay. And let me grab just a few more. Okay, we also had some long magnets. So this was for these ones. But I don't know where the other long magnet went. I know I had it because it stuck a bunch of pieces together. Oh, and this was a double one here. Okay. And oh yeah, her hair was the one that needed this one. Okay. So we'll go here and push that in. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. And then there's just these ones left. So let me get this and this and this. Put these back. Can use, if I can pull it off, a big 1/4 inch one here. So that will stick. And this piece, we never did any work with this one before, so this will be its first priming. Need to drill a hole through her Maid headband. So I did all the work on this off stream, and now it's ready for its first priming. Okay, so I just drilled a hole straight through that putty, and I conveniently have a piece of brass wire here, so I'm going to push that through, and we're just going to prime it like this and probably push this up a little more. Okay, and the last piece is her arm, which I am missing. Oh, here it is. So got stuck to my tweezers. Okay. Alright, so every piece is now on my wooden plank. So I am going to switch over to my airbrush setup. I have a Be Right Back screen that I will be putting on, but I am just right here. So listen to this music, and if you have any questions, go ahead and push them, and I will be reading them. Give me 1 sec. Now I'm just switching my camera, but it's still like plugged in to my setup, so. There we go. Okay. That was not very smart. Just wound it up. Okay, I know that my mic is on. That's fine. You guys can hear me grunting. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna test this position real quick. Should be in my airbrush now, but I might adjust my camera a little bit. Oh, well, guess not. Maybe I disconnected it. Give me 1 sec. Oh, sure. Okay, give me a sec then. That appeared to not work. I literally did not do anything to this camera. So give me 1 sec, guys. It's always my other camera. Let me see if I can switch it. So that's my face. You guys want to know what I look like. Yeah. Okay, I don't know why it's not working now. Let me turn it off and turn it back on. Thanks for the follow, by the way, Luke. Too bad I'm having technical difficulties. Oh, I turned it. There we go. Nice. Yeah. It's curvy. Okay, so I think that's a good angle. Sorry for the mix-up there, guys. I moved my camera and I think I may have jolted something. So, this is my airbrush setup. It seems really zoomed in, but let me see real quick. Wow, why is it so zoomed in? Let me zoom out a little. Okay. As if I am brushing. Blah blah blah. Test. Okay. So I think we're good. If I lean in here, yeah, you guys aren't gonna see me. So, I think we're ready to continue airbrushing. Let me open a window real quick. Had that closed the whole time. Okay. There we go. Good. So yeah, it's a little bit messy right now. You can see I've got a bunch of cups and other stuff because I've been working on my commission. So that's fine. We'll just keep using these towels. So we covered priming before, so I'm just gonna go straight into it. I will be thinning this a little more with the Mr. Color Leveling Thinner this time because we're getting to a point where we're gonna be putting on our thicker primer coats and eventually our finer primer coats, or final primer coats. So we want to make sure we're using a mixture of nice stuff. So what I have right now, I don't know, yeah, you guys can see it, this cup right here, this is filled with the hardware store lacquer. So I'm gonna do 2 drops of the hardware store and then 1 drop of the Mr. Color Leveling. And this is just a dropper, it's 0.5 milliliters. And then I will do 1 dropper of my Tamiya. So I do a 1 to 3 mixture. Oops, this is broken. Oh, and I put up all my thingies, so. That's the problem with these cheapo measuring ones, is sometimes they just break because of the lacquer, so. Alright, and I'm gonna mix it, so technically it's like a little bit more than 1-3, but that's fine. Okay, so let me put on my mask. Got my venting mask. And it's gonna be pretty loud, because not only do I have the dehumidifier on, but I will have the compressor on and my booth, so I'm gonna turn down the volume a little bit so you guys won't hear as much. But we're just gonna be spraying all these pieces again. Gonna pour this in my cup. Actually, I'm going to make sure my brush is clean. Yeah, we're good. I'm going to be spraying this at 20 psi. coats. So I'm not too sure how many more coats of primer we'll need to put on, but this one will be a pretty decently thick one. So I'm just mixing another batch. this off for a second. One thing that I'm noticing that's happening right now is my airbrush appears to either be clogged or something is like in the way, or maybe I didn't spin enough, because I'm getting like initially really nice spray and then it kind of tapers off and nothing is coming out of this airbrush. And so I'm going to give it a quick cleaning and make sure that there's no hairs or anything in the way, and then I'll just continue on. At one point, like a lot of the primer just shot out and landed on that edge of the hair. I'm not sure if the camera caught it. That's something you don't really want to happen. You want it to be applying like smooth, and you don't want to have to like keep spraying and then moving off as I was doing. You want like a nice continuous spray. So I'm just running this through. I'm using lacquer, hardware store lacquer thinner to quickly clean this. Generally that will like fix up any issue, just a quick cleaning. So we're gonna try it. And I need to mix more anyway, so a good short break. So we got the hair done and a couple other pieces, or not hair, well front hair done and a couple of other pieces. I'm gonna clean off the front here too. So this got really clogged up with primer. So I just kept trying to shoot it out. Yes, Rocket? Oh, maybe I can show Rocket. So it'll be this angle. Oh, now he's scratching. I think I broke this, but yeah, I did. And grab another. Okay. That appears to be smoother, but we'll see. Let me mix some more real quick. Should be, whoa, almost dropped that. Should be better mixed now. So, well wishes for this primer batch. just show you guys the Maid hairband that I was working on. Let me see if I can get an angle with the camera. Oh, you like this angle, that's good. Come on. Might be hard. Yeah, let me see if I can angle this. Other way. So this is the back, I think, and this is the front. Oh, it's hard. I basically have to like point it this way. But I filled all of that in with the epoxy and it filled really well. So next time I'll show it up real close. But we did a pretty good job smoothing all of that down. I can't wait to test that against the hairband, or against her hair. gonna mix some more primer real quick. We're about 2/3 through right now. We've got 1, 2, 3, actually 4 pieces left. And they're mostly bigger stuff, so probably 1 or 2 more of these thin batches and that would be enough. I just left my airbrush on at the 20 psi. A lot of times I turn it off, but we're just running through it right now, so it's fine. Alright, gonna turn this back on. But I do want to take the time to clean this out again because I'm just running into that issue where it's not spraying at full power. Could also be the humidity. I'm trying to keep that down in here, but it's pretty moist outside, so possible that it's just affecting it. It was spraying on pretty wet, so that makes me think it might also be humidity. Okay, I'm just gonna give this one a quick wipe though. I'm not gonna fully take it apart. Alright, last bit. Mr. Freaky just caught me as we are wrapping up our airbrushing. I actually just ran out of my primer because I mixed that whole batch. And I said it'd be good for the last 2 pieces, but I think we're pretty good. I do have to do that apron, so I don't necessarily have to mix a new batch and finish this one. So I'm going to finish cleaning up my airbrush. We pretty much primed all of the pieces. I can show you guys them in a second. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a nice deep cleaning now, because chances are I will not be running primer through it in its next thing, so. Oh, well, I hope you had a fun time. Thank you for popping in and checking my stream out. We basically just wrapped up our round of looking for air bubbles and other things, and then I'm applying the second coat of primer tonight in preparation for just a little bit more QA/QC, but we're rapidly approaching when I need to start pulling out all my paints and start testing spoons and stuff, because we gotta lock down a color scheme for this girl. It's all happening rather fast. Alright. Let me wipe this out again. Yeah, there's some buildup here of the primer, so I'm going to wipe all that down. How long does paint generally take to dry? Lacquer, when you spray it, it's dry to the touch within a couple of minutes, but to fully cure, I let it sit overnight or even a day. So my process gets a little bit spread out, because generally what I'll do is I will spray the pieces with color and let them sit overnight, and then I'll apply a top coat after that. So I don't think I have it on hand. Yeah, top coat. Yeah, I do have it on hand. So I'll spray the pieces with a color, for example, like a purple, and then let that purple dry. And then after that, I'll put up a top coat on it. So this is a top coat. It's Mr. Color GX100. It's a gloss top coat. I put that on top, and then that has to wait another day to fully cure. So it's kind of like a 2-day process between each color. But oh, I just spilled some of that. For an airbrush, though, you can do like the shading and the painting at the same time, right? So you can finish pieces within, 2 days or so. This one will be a pretty easy girl, because a lot of pieces are white, so we'll only need to do shading and then spray the white and let it sit. And there's only a couple of pieces that will require masking and multiple colors. Her apron, front of the apron is one of them, her face, and wow, that might be it. The rest of the pieces are pretty much solid colors, so and her like shoes. So that will be a nice easy one to demonstrate for you guys what regular shading and stuff looks like. Let me get another thingy, Q-tip. I think out of all of this, the face and her shoes will probably take the longest, because her shoes do have those straps, and I'm gonna need to hand paint and clean up some of the details for those. Also, her hands will be airbrushed, but then I'll need to mask off and spray the area around that. So we will have a tiny bit of masking to do. I'll probably mask her shoes off as well. But her faces are the most detailed part. So let me wrap this up and then I'll show her face. Just about done now. There we go. And let me clean off the top of the lid, which is also kind of gross. You can see this is why I keep my cup of hardware lacquer right there, is because I also use it to clean all my tools. So I burn through that a hell of a lot quicker than I do the hobby brand lacquer thinner. Don't have very much left, but I don't want to pour out too much either, so I will do with what I have. that's all clean. We throw away this, and we'll take a quick look at some of the pieces. So what I was getting at with the face is that the face will be one of the hardest parts to paint. Not necessarily the hardest, but most time consuming, because what's going to happen, let's see if I can zoom in on her. Come on, camera. So what's going to happen is we're going to spray all the skin first, and then her eyes will need to be hand painted. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So we're going to spray her skin first, and so I'm going to spray everything. I'm not going to mask off her eyes or any of that. All that's going to be done with blushless clear paints, so Gaia Notes. And then we're going to top coat that and eventually go in and paint all of her eyes with enamel. So her little smile will be done with enamel, her eyes, those will all be, the eyelashes will be painted by hand with enamel. I haven't fully decided on an eye style yet for this. I have never actually painted eyes that are kind of indented like this, and so that will be interesting. May take me a little while to figure out what I want to do. But yeah, there's that one, and that's her regular face. She also has another face, the one I've been talking about. And so as you can see here, this one does not have the indented eyes. It just has like plain eyes. And so I'm also not sure what I want to do here. Like, do I want to do a gradient? Do I want to do it by hand? Or like, you know, my own style? I'll have to look up a couple of eye styles and find one that I like. I also want to like fit the mood of this kit, so we'll have to see. It's kind of, at this point, it's up to your imagination, so it's okay. I've seen some people start using food dehydrators to speed up drying. Interesting. We actually kind of talked about that earlier this evening, where we were talking about like dish drying racks with like, you know, stuff attached to them, or just the racks themselves, and that does like speed up the process. So lacquer themselves already dry pretty quickly anyway. So generally what I do is I like go in and I do my painting, and then if I'm feeling really impatient, I'll top coat like maybe an hour later and it's fine. Just kind of depends on my schedule. Out of habit, I don't really have that much time that I dedicate it to painting every day, so it's just easier for me to like go into the next day and do things. But we'll see for this kit. I think lastly, the other place that's going to be kind of more complicated is her apron here, as I've shown you guys many times. Let's see if it will zoom in. Come on. Come on, camera, really? There, oh, there we go. Yeah, so you can see here, her hands will be painted with the Gaia Notes, but then she's got all this area here that's just her apron. Majority of it's white, so really the only area that I do need to paint by hand is that little button on the side there, and that will be done with enamel, so that's no problem. But I do need to look at the reference for this kit and see if her collar, you know, has any color, if that's also white. So we'll check on that. What other things? Other than that, the pieces are like pretty smooth, as you can see. So this is the primed piece. You might be able to see a slight, very slight touch of different color from the areas that we sanded off. That's okay. I don't really have an issue with that, because when we spray our regular colors, you're not going to see that tonal difference. The only time that this would matter is when we're spraying clear paints. So for flesh tones very specifically, we want to make sure that every single piece is exactly the same color, or else you're going to end up with differences. If you're aiming to do like more realistic skin textures, that may not be a problem, but for like the anime style and this kit in particular, we really want to make sure that it's all one color. So I do have a slight tip / trick that I might do on this kit that I'll show you guys, but we'll see. I think other than that, oh, I guess I'll show off her shoes, because that's the other part. Come on. So yeah, her shoes are the last part that's a little slightly more complicated. You can see there's this heel, and the heel has her skin / stockings maybe, and the straps. And so the straps in particular, we might have to go in and hand paint. Her bloomers and all of this are going to be the same color, so I'm not worried about that. Back of her shoes also have this really nice detail here, so that will probably go in, and we will hand paint that as well. Not sure what color I want to do that. There's something weird going on here on the side that I just noticed. It's almost like it bubbled up, so I'm gonna have to go in and observe that later. I don't know if you guys can see it. There's some slight like bubbling on that area that we sanded down earlier tonight. Could be because I just maybe touched it, but it looks almost like, I don't know. I'll have to report back. That's interesting. Usually you don't see that kind of graininess when you're spraying with this stuff, and everything else is like super smooth, so not quite sure what happened there. Yeah, it was along her hip area, along her bloomers, and it's just that area. Earlier tonight we had an issue where it was like kind of bubbly, so we'll see. I think it looks like it's sandable. The rest of this is pretty like nice now, so you can see her arm is fine, no bubbling issues. Altogether almost entirely smooth. There's just one or two very small areas where I want to touch it up. So I think we're in good shape. Next time we will take a look at these pieces one more time. It's going to be an even smoother next time because we'll have less and less work to do. So I'm not sure if we'll run a full stream, you know, checking all of that out. But if not, I might have some spoons to show. We can mix some colors, do some fun stuff. We'll see. Not sure yet. But for now, I think we're good. Next stream will be Monday the 19th. So next Monday the 19th at 8 p.m. EST. I hope you can make it. We'll probably do another half and half situation depending on how quickly we burn through the primer. And I'll finish the hair, the apron and everything on my own, so there's no need to worry about that. So, 1 second. Got some new paints. Good. Do some spoon painting. Tell me what happens and how your reaction is and what happens on Monday. I'd like to know. And the other time, well, I guess I will see you guys on Monday. Hope you have a good night and day and weekend. Ooh. Yeah, that sounds great. I like the owl clouds. If I don't stop myself, I'm going to end up, like, ranting. So, have a good night, you guys. Bye-bye.